Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Momentum Shift podcast. Today we're going to be discussing our predictions for Super Bowl. We're recapping our NBA pick'em and making our new picks. We're going to be talking about the landscape of the NBA and potential Carson Wentz trades that are going to happen. Do you want to begin with our Super Bowl predictions?
Sure. So, who do you have?
This is a pretty tough pick because on one side you got Mahomes, on one side you got Brady, and I think I'm going to take the Chiefs though, and I'm taking them like in a 34-31 type win, and I think Brady's gonna put on a show. Like people kind of even like as good as Brady is, people kind of are still doubting him this season a little bit, and from like him throwing 3 picks in the NFC Championship and everything, I feel like people are gonna kind of see his stock a little bit go down. But I feel like he's gonna put on a show. But then I feel like the Chiefs are just gonna hang in there for the whole game, and in the fourth quarter, Mahomes is gonna get like a clutch touchdown to win the game, and it's gonna be like a 34-31 type win for the Chiefs. What about you?
I think it'd be like a 41-38 type win for Mahomes because the thing is you never ever want to bet against Brady. There's like one guy you can bet against. But if you look at it, Patrick Mahomes has really never really lost in the playoffs. He's been unstoppable in the regular season in the playoffs. He lost to Brady, but that was after he was super cold in the first half. Then he caught fire, and if it wasn't for a pre-snap penalty, he could have been in the Super Bowl and beat the Rams. And then he couldn't let the team lose last year. And again this year they've just been so dominant. So I'm just gonna go with the Chiefs because I have too much faith in that offense. I know the Buccaneers defense has been outstanding. They've looked like the best defense in the NFL for the last few weeks. Tom Brady hasn't made mistakes, and they've got uh, a great offense. But I'm just gonna go with the Chiefs.
Yeah. By the way, right now the Chiefs center is in COVID protocol, but I think he's gonna get out by the time of the game, and Antonio Brown is gonna be playing because he's been practicing all week. And finally, there's a 75% chance of thunderstorms, and I don't know which team that technically benefits. I don't even know if it benefits any team, but like that means the passing games might not be as good as they could be because um, the rain affects like your throws and stuff, you know. So
I think that should affect the. But you look at someone like Tyreek Hill, it's not that he's so much faster than everyone. It's like his body control is way better. Like he can just like accelerate to like top speed and then stop and then accelerate again in a different direction, all before you can
his
blink.
agility, right?
Yeah,
Like
so his like change of direction, all that. So that'll like probably get affected a lot and things like that. So you
do you
never know.
think do you think do you think like Scotty Miller is gonna like or Tyreek Hill is gonna like make fun of Scotty Miller like at the end of the game or something like that if the Chiefs win? It'll be kind of funny to see. What
No. Tyreek Hill is considered by many to be the best receiver in the NFL. So it's like sort of punching down. It's like if Patrick Mahomes started making fun of like I don't know Jared Goff or something. It doesn't make sense because like
no, but Jared Goff never said he was like Jared Goff never said he's faster like or stronger or something like that than
yeah,
Patrick
you don't
Mahomes. You know, it's
like in a way beneath you because it's like if Lamar Jackson was to say something about Mahomes, it's like I'm faster than you, Mahomes. He won't respond because he's better, and no one in their right mind thinks that Lamar is better. So
yeah. Um, do you think which team do you think um like which team will have less turnovers? Do you think at the end of the game?
I think it'll be the Buccaneers will have less turnovers. So I think Mahomes and them, like the Bills were trash, so I'm not gonna use them as an example. But I just feel Mahomes could have like one of those two interception games or something, and he'll still like find a way to win like he did in the last Super Bowl. So again, I don't want to use the Bills example because as I aforementioned, they're trash. But um, they're it's just it's and I also feel the defense of the Buccaneers has been amazing. Aaron Rodgers, they made him choke, even though you could say he's a choke artist. They destroyed Drew Brees as well. And then the only time that like the first round matchup, the guy had like no film, so you can't like, and even then they contained him relatively well.
I one thing I'll say though is in the Aaron Rodgers game, I mean, like, this is not pertaining to Aaron Rodgers, pertaining to Mahomes, but like you said, Aaron Rodgers got stopped like three times in the like at the 1 yard line and stuff, but Mahomes wouldn't get stopped because he has Kelsey, and like Kelsey's like overpowered in the red zone, and to me, I feel like Rodgers is able to drive all those drives, and he got stopped, and Mahomes won't get stopped. So if you look at that, like you just correlate that, I feel like the Chiefs could still, like you said, and I kind of said, they're gonna put up at least 30 points because I feel like it's gonna be easier for them because I
So
feel
I
like the Buccaneers.
remember reading an article that said for the Buccaneers to win, so many things have to go right. They said, first of all, Tom Brady can't make a single mistake. No fumbles, no interceptions, nothing. On top of that, he has to reasonably keep pace with Mahomes. And then his defense has to play at a level that has been unprecedented for the last 3 years because no one has really been able to um, stop the Chiefs. The 2018 Patriots did a good job, but like that was only at first, and then Mahomes started to figure them out, and that was the best defense in the whole league that year. And then last year, the San Francisco had a great defense. Even the Titans had a good defense. Uh, the Texans had a decently good defense. All these teams that they've beat have great defenses. And even if Mahomes, like as we saw in the last Super Bowl, if you even if you force so many turnovers and things like that, you can't win. So just so many things have to go right, and it has to be a shootout because like so the things that have to happen is Brady has to put up a lot of points on the board. He's got to he can't make a single mistake, and the Buccaneers defense has to slow the Chiefs down as much as possible. So
Yeah,
like
although in the game last year, San Francisco kind of like Chiefs scored 31, but that was because of like that 50-yard touchdown run like at the last minute of the game or whatever. But if not, I feel like San Francisco was actually able to restrict him. But at the same time, San Francisco might have the best defense we've seen in like a really, really long time. So you can't really compare them to the Buccaneers defense because the Buccaneers defense just isn't that team, you know?
San Francisco wasn't that amazing on defense.
Yeah, but like they were able to restrict Mahomes to 24 like until the end of the game, which is like really good.
And they had a great run game, which they had like one of the best, if not second, third best run game in the league, probably third best, I think. So
No, I mean they had the second best like last year in terms of yards per game because they had like three running backs that had over like
the
700, 800 yards. So like it was like a lot of yards.
who's number one
No,
Ravens? Titans.
Ravens. The Ravens had Ingram and Lamar, so they had like two
Titans
1,000 yard rushers.
really slow. That's why. At the end they would have been like number one because Derrick Henry, like I don't care how many you could have 1,000 running backs on the team. Derrick Henry is going for like 2 million yards a game. So I think it's
I
mainly
think no, I think the Browns even had more than the Titans last year because Baker Mayfield had more rushing yards than Tannehill, and Chubb was only behind him by like 100. So and Chubb missed a
like
game.
they have
Chubb
a
would
good
have had.
here. If you look at like the last 8 games, or the last 6 games, or whatever, they were on fire, and Derrick Henry led everybody.
Yeah, yeah. The ever since I think ever since like the Titans started Tannehill, I feel like they've just become a whole different team, and I don't know how, or maybe it's AJ Brown or something, but their team's just turned into a whole different animal than they used to be because they used to be like a laughing stock of a franchise that would just lose every year, and like it would kind of just be a sad time, and now they're like making the playoffs and stuff, and that's a pretty good story from them, I guess. All right, do you have anything else you want to say about the Super Bowl?
Not really. I'm just waiting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, same. All right. Um, but last thing I'll say is don't count Brady out, and yeah, that's like you never know. Brady could end up winning because he's just like he's won so many, and you can't just like he's proven that he can do it.
Oh wait, I
Um,
I saw this. A lot of people say, I don't know who said it, but like one football player, someone saying that if he loses, Mahomes can never catch Brady. Do you agree with that or no?
um, It depends because if Mahomes wins 7 or 8, then like if Mahomes wins one more, if Brady wins this, he has a seventh, right? So Mahomes would have to win 8. But um, at the same time, Mahomes is gonna dominate him in stats because Mahomes is like a better player. You know what I mean? Like Brady has a lot more wins, but in terms of regular season stats, like I think Mahomes would beat him because Mahomes just puts up more statistics and stuff than him. So you kind of can look at it that way, and then but it kind of works both ways with Brady. Like I don't know if you're the one that told me this, but somebody said that Brady should have let Rodgers beat him because now that if he loses to Mahomes and Mahomes doesn't win the same amount of rings as him at the end of Mahomes' career, people can like use the Super Bowl to say that Mahomes like is the GOAT, if that makes sense. So like it kind of works both ways, I guess.
Wait, what does that mean? You should have let him lose. What kind of insanity is that? Plus, letting Aaron Rodgers win is pretty tough considering he's a choke artist. So, I mean,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I don't know, but like at the same time, like it,
it it did look like he was trying to let Aaron Rodgers win with those interceptions, and I mean, he wasn't able.
I mean, one of the picks was just him chucking it because like he was about to get sacked and he wanted to try to get
Looks it looked like it looked like he was trying to give Aaron Rodgers the win or something crazy like that, and yet he was too bad to capitalize. So
I mean, in my opinion, like the one of the picks was like a like it was like kind of an overthrow of Mike Evans. Like it like hit his fingertips, but it was like way too.
but no, it didn't touch his fingertips. He just was too aggressive. That's what I'm saying. It did look like he wanted to make it a close game.
Maybe you're right. All right. Well, yeah, but so I think it works both ways, and the Super Bowl is like it's like the Jordan versus LeBron matchup that like never happened. I don't really think it's like Jordan versus Kobe. I think it's more like Jordan versus wait or Kobe versus LeBron. I think it's more like Jordan versus LeBron, if that makes sense. Because I think um like Brady's like the Jordan, and then if Mahomes is like that good, like if he's LeBron's level, then he's kind of the LeBron, and yeah. So all right,
Move on to the
you know
Carson
what?
trade. So like potential trade. So you were saying it's something like a first round pick or something crazy like that. I mean, I'm thinking maybe a fifth round pick and
Um,
a practice squad wide receiver and a bag of sardines. What do you think? I mean, a packet of chips or
I
something.
mean, yeah. So I saw this report saying that the Colts were loaning like really interested in Carson Wentz, and then the Eagles also have multiple suitors. So they're trying to like outbid each other or something like that. And it said that a
What if
first round pick was being
they're
discussed,
offering
and
the Colts are offering two, like are offering two packets of chips and they're throwing in a can of
no, no,
soda.
no, no. It said a first round pick was being discussed, and if
There's
you
no
like,
consequences worth a first round pick.
dude, you like if you don't look at this season, but you look at the last like the season any season before this, Carson Wentz's career, he's been like he was a league quarterback until this season. Like if you
He
just
was
look at the
never
statistics,
elite.
wins.
First, second, he was like good at best. Second, he makes so much money. And then you look at this year, and you see he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. He was quite literally the worst player there was. And then when Jalen Hurts showed up, it became evident that it's not the team around him that's doing it. It became evident
But
that he was the problem.
Hurts,
So that same
Hurts has never been. Um,
look, that same offensive line that couldn't protect him at all, and what Wentz defenders were always saying, what's the offensive line? It's the receivers doing this and that. That didn't affect Jalen Hurts. I mean, he wasn't Patrick Mahomes or anything, but he wasn't as bad as him. So you can tell he's the problem.
no, but Jalen Hurts only played like a few games, and defenses might not like have an idea of what he played. And I'm not saying that Carson Wentz. I'm not saying that Carson Wentz played good this season. I'm saying he played really bad. But I feel like if he's able to turn it around, like last season he had 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with a practice squad like wide receivers and like 4,000 yards, and he like and he led the team to the playoffs with like the most injured roster of all time and everything. What?
I mean, he didn't lead the team to the playoffs. Every time someone like is his backup and shows up, they do better than him. It's happened so
When
that old guy last year, he almost wins a playoff game. Nick Foles does it not once but
dude,
twice. Once
The Eagles would have won that playoff game if
Jalen
Carson
Hurts
Wentz was
does
playing.
this. Jalen Hurts does this. I mean, so it's not that
Nick Foles, dude,
the team's
are you
bad.
Nick Foles?
Four times. four times the team around the quarterback has been good enough to once win a Super Bowl, which is amazing, and the other times to make the playoffs. So it's clearly on Carson Wentz. He
No, I
makes
use
far too much money, and a lot of the problems that people are saying, it's not like an injury or he has like a broken hand or he's getting confused by the schemes. A lot of the things are stubbornness and not listening to the coach and all that, which might be the single greatest problem there is, because you can't reverse that. Like Lamar Jackson, you can sort of teach him how to throw the ball better or things like that, but you can't teach like the will to learn and listen to the coach. If Lamar Jackson didn't listen to Jim Harbaugh, whatever the guy's name is, that'd be a real problem.
Nick Foles didn't do better than him. Nick Foles got carried by that defense, and when Carson Wentz was playing, he was 11-1 in that season. And Nick Foles came in and lost two straight games, and then and I like in Super Bowl he did play good, but until that game,
Literally won a Super Bowl. There's no argument.
but I'm not I'm but like Carson Wentz would have won that Super Bowl too,
Nobody
considering how
would
good.
have. You can't say would have because you didn't. And winning a Super Bowl is such a big deal. So you
But
can't.
you're saying you always say Mahomes would have won that Super Bowl against the Rams if they played. So what's it like? Why is that a different comparison? Because like Carson Wentz was playing better than Nick Foles, and Nick Foles like made Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
he got injured, and you can't just make an argument that he would have. But in Mahomes' case, it was something out of his control. And then you also look at how the Rams.
Isn't injury also
And then
has control
on
them?
top of that, Nick Foles won the Super Bowl MVP, and he got a massive extension and all that because of how well he played. You can't just say for like Carson Wentz will play amazing, because that's like predicting. Okay, I'm gonna get like Paul George, and he's gonna give me 45 points, and he's gonna win me the game. That doesn't make sense, because yes, there's a chance he could do that, but he's too inconsistent for you to count
He,
on
he
that.
was he was the MVP favorite. He was 11-1. He in 12 games he had 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He was his team was just dominating every single game. Like I don't
The
uh,
defense. He had the best
he,
defense and a great run game. That like it was that. He wasn't doing anything.
he didn't have that good of a run game. Dude, but like if you see the statistics and you watched him play, he was so good. Like he was gonna win the MVP and then he
And even if he
got
did,
injured.
even let's go with the argument that he did, that he will lead them to the championship. It's not because it, it's not because like he carried them or something to the title or anything like that. It would be like the next Super Bowl or the Patriots one, where Tom Brady didn't really do anything special. He just didn't make too many mistakes, and the defense was good enough to win.
But by the way, in overall defense that year, they had the third ranked defense. So I mean, that's obviously still like really good defense. But
Oh, right. That makes sense.
and then I mean, this year, like I feel like if he's able to go back to what he was last year with the new coach and everything, because he had some really
What
big problems with
last
Doug
year?
Peterson.
Out of the league. He's so big.
No, not last year. I meant like the year before last year. Like
Even the year before, he was making so many mistakes, and the same like carrying that he was
no,
doing.
he wasn't.
Come to
He only
season,
had 7 interceptions.
what?
He had 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He was and he got injured for a few games and they lost him and then he came back and he led them on like 4-1 in their last 5 games to make the playoffs with the practice squad team, the most injured team of all time.
It's called the NFC least for a reason. Making the playoffs isn't a big deal because A, your competition loses every game. B, your team itself, like the teams you're going against 6 times out of 16 are terrible. So winning like four of the last five is nothing special, especially when you consider like people like Mason Rudolph for showing up and beating the same teams that Carson Wentz was beating, and they were doing it making less turnovers and things like that. And also another problem
Carson,
that Carson Wentz has, you're completely glossing over his fumbling problem. So that's a large source of turnovers that you're just glossing over. So yeah, and
wait, no,
Carson
you see me
Wentz's
fumble.
defense wasn't bad that year either.
Their defense was bad that year, and
And they
and
also
and
had they
Carson
also had
Wentz,
like Zach Ertz,
he
who was an amazing tight end, and they had like his backup who was also a really good tight end, and things like that. So
no, let's see Ertz stats that year. He had 900 yards, and then they had practice squad wide receivers. His backup was injured. Um, Carson Wentz only had 9 total turnovers that year. Carson Wentz didn't have a turnover problem in all of his seasons except for this season. This is the first season where he actually had a turnover problem. I don't know where it came from, but like
at the end of the year, when like he was carrying the team or something like that, it wasn't a big deal because It was against bad teams.
I know, but yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I just think that like last season he was really bad, but I feel like if he's able to go back to the production he was 2 years ago,
Won't be able to.
then he can be. We'll see. Because if it really was just a
Unless
like
unless the Chiefs decide to trade for him or something crazy, he's never matching that production. 'Cause where would he go?
to me, I don't know. To me, it's not the Colts. To me, it's not the talent. It's more the like
Yeah, he could have.
the issue.
It's if like Tom Brady decided not to sign with Tampa Bay, and he decided, okay, I'm going to Tampa Bay. That's the only chance he would have, and then I still think he would have been the same thing as Jameis Winston, minus the yards and touchdowns.
No, but like to me, like he's to me, it's not the talent issue. It's just the fact that he had a bad relationship with his team and stuff. And if he ends up getting traded, to me, I feel like he's not. Maybe he won't be as good, but he'll still be quality quarterback. And honestly, I don't know why the Colts are keeping going for these veteran quarterbacks. Like they should just try to draft the quarterback because I feel like their team's still pretty young, and they should try and build it up from the draft. If you know what I mean?
There's no
But
point in trading for Carson Wentz. Any team that gives up anything more than like a
well,
donut
because
and two
Well,
packets of chips
because some
getting
some teams view him better than you view him. Like you look at him as like a trash quarterback, but some teams see the like if you just look at the talent he like the arm talent and stuff he has,
makes sense to
maybe
do
like his
makes sense to do it only for one reason, and even that I don't see it. And the reason is like if you're like the Jets or someone with a really bad quarterback problem where you haven't got a good quarterback in so much time. But even then, it's so much better to not absorb his cap hit, get a rookie quarterback, and then build a good team around him for the first 4 or 5 years.
I know, but I'm like that because that's your opinion on how bad of a player he is, right? But in my opinion, if he's in a good situation, he'll be able to be a like a
I
quality
agree.
quarterback. So
He could easily be. He has the talent to do it. But if you just look at it like logically, they won't have enough. They won't. The teams that trade for him have to absorb his large contract, meaning they can't use that money to build a good situation around him the same way that they would if he was a rookie on a or on his rookie deal. So if you think about it, on the, he has to go to like a ready-made situation where he can succeed, and those situations don't exist, or if they do exist, they've already got a quarterback that they need.
but,
Like
by the way, like although his contract is like really big, only half of it is guaranteed. So um and if the Eagles end up trading him, the Eagles still have to pay like a little bit of his contract, so it might not be that bad to trade for him. And I feel like you know how like the money like inflates, if you know what I mean, like salary cap goes up.
with like Wentz and a first round pick to get like a third and a second or something like that. So you're giving up a first round pick to trade him.
Yeah,
That's
but,
what
but what I'm saying, if you look at it from like a perspective, right? So let's say the salary cap's going up, then Wentz's contract won't be
I don't know.
like as
Why don't you look
bad.
from this perspective? What type of team would benefit from trading for him? Like which
A team like the Bears or the Colts that have a solid, or the Washington football team that have a solid roster, but their quarterback just isn't like they feel like they can go the distance, but their quarterback isn't as good, and like they sign like a few more like solid players, and they feel like they can go
they
the
can't
distance because they're
they can't
all.
get enough money for them to sign it. You're much better off drafting a rookie and then paying him way less money and then
No,
doing that.
but these like Carson Wentz, like although he has had a lot of interceptions this season. If you just he's had good seasons in the past, and
Only team I can think of that might want to make this deal. There's one team that would really do it.
San
Not
Francisco.
Chicago, not Washington, because Chicago's got like Washington's got like a young defense and all that. The only team I can think of is the
San
Steelers.
Francisco. Uh,
No,
what
San
are the Steelers
Francisco is
doing?
also pretty young, and they should set their sight they should set their sights
I mean,
much
Wentz isn't old though. Like he's what is he like 27? He's like 27.
he's 28 or 29 or something.
Oh, he just turned 28 last month. Like no, for a quarterback that's pretty young, and I guess he's taken a lot of hits, but he still has like if
Yeah,
he
but
were to
he's
play,
on
he
the
would
field
have.
because of himself. Like it's not because the offensive line was bad because that's what people used, but as
Hurts.
an excuse.
Hurts
But his
though.
offensive line,
Hurts.
first of all, was above average. Second, Carson Wentz didn't. I mean, Jalen Hurts didn't have those problems.
He did. He did. He got sacked just as much. He just didn't have the turnovers.
It didn't affect him.
it did affect him because a lot of they had a lot of three and outs
Did he
when he was
play?
playing.
Did he play significantly better than Carson Wentz?
I guess, but like
Same trash
not
team
not
that was holding Wentz down.
yeah, but it's only 4 game sample
I
size,
think the problem
and Winston have
makes
a
no sense to trade for him. I really do think we should move on to our next segment. That'll be the NBA pick'em. Um, yeah. So
all right.
these were the games we had that night, January 31st. And Clippers, these didn't matter. Nuggets versus Jazz. I'm pretty sure the Jazz won this. I mean, the Nuggets won this game, so I'll win this. What about you? Win the next one. Magic
Yeah,
Raptors.
the Raptors won, so
Okay, so this game was also a tie. This day was a tie. Let's make our
that was actually a pretty good pick for the Nuggets because the Jazz were on a good winning streak, and um, that was pretty interesting. So that was a
okay.
good pick.
Let's make new predictions.
All right, so there's the Pelicans Pacers,
Yeah.
and then Bulls Magic, Bucks Cavs, Raptors Nets, Timberwolves Thunder, Wizards Heat, Jazz Hornets, Pistons Suns, and then Celtics Clippers. I think that's an interesting matchup. All right.
Okay. So Pelicans versus Pacers. I'm gonna go with the Pacers because the Pelicans are trash.
Um, I'm actually gonna take the Pelicans because Zion's been playing pretty good this season, and yeah,
So Bulls Magic. I'm gonna go with the Bulls. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go with the Magic. They seem like a better team.
I'll take the Bulls.
Okay.
I
Bucks
got
versus
Bucks.
Cavs. I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Same.
Raptors versus Nets. I'm taking the Raptors. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're also taking them.
Yeah, I'm taking the Nets. All right. Um,
Timberwolves versus Thunder. I'm gonna take the Thunder.
yeah, it's a tough pick. I'll take the Thunder as well. It's like one of those like bad picks, if like bad teams against bad team type picks.
Yeah, Wizards versus Heat. I'm actually gonna take the Heat, even though they've lost a lot, but I've just got a little bit more faith in them.
I got the Wizards. The Heat are better, like have better records too.
Jazz versus Hornets. I'm gonna go with the Jazz.
Yeah, I think the Jazz too.
Pistons versus Suns. I think you're taking the Suns, and so am I.
Yeah.
Celtics. I'm taking the Celtics.
Thing. I'm gonna take the Clippers though. I
Okay.
just feel like the Clippers are more deep, even though Celtics might have 3 stars. The Clippers don't. So
I don't think the Celtics have three. I think they have two. I don't think.
actually, Kemba isn't even there anymore. I think losing Gordon Hayward might hurt them in the playoffs because they don't have that third guy to lean on. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's yeah. So the games were different on one, two, three, and four. So there's potential for another tie, but this is how it stands currently.
Or it could be yeah. It could go the way in a lot of these games. So
Yeah.
all right. Do you wanna discuss voting returns on the All Star game, like fan voting returns so far in the All Star game, and who we think might have got it snubbed?
Sure. Let's check it out. I mean, these aren't full predictions yet, but let's see how it is so far.
So the fans pretty much predict the All Star starters, right? So this is the first returns, but this kind of gives us a landscape on what we think would be starters.
Yeah. So I pulled up the returns from the NBA. Let's just take a look. So this is for the West.
Right. So I think honestly the way Kawhi's been playing, I actually thought Paul George would be, but Kawhi's also playing 50, 40, 90 right now, and I think he deserves it. And Anthony Davis might like maybe you consider him a better player than Kawhi, but I think Kawhi so far is having a better season, and Anthony Davis's stats have been a little bit low, so I think Kawhi deserves that spot. What about you?
Um, Anthony Davis required only three are selected.
So the three front for the starters, so three front court and two guards. So
So I think Kawhi Leonard deserves it because they've got a better record than them, and he's the leader of that team. Plus, Anthony Davis is, he hasn't been playing amazing. Although they're so close in their voting that I feel Anthony Davis in the next one could leapfrog. Um,
yeah, that kind of makes sense. Anthony Davis
so
is a lot more popular for sure because um he
yeah,
just
last year him and LeBron each had more votes than Kawhi and Paul George.
yeah, and
So one thing I noticed here is that a lot of these small markets really like help their teams out. There are a lot of like bandwagon fans as well. I'm really like happy that I didn't see Alex Caruso here. I was pretty happy with that.
Klay
And
Thompson,
what
Klay Thompson and Carmelo both made it
exactly?
to the
Klay Thompson
2010.
hasn't played a single game. Carmelo Anthony has no business being in this discussion. Same with Andrew Wiggins. Like, okay, still somewhat of a thing, but like Klay Thompson hasn't played a single game. Those are just Warriors
Yeah,
fans.
McCollum literally got injured like within the first
Exactly.
two
So
weeks.
yeah, so those there are three guys from the Trailblazers that are on this list, of which only one deserves the thing. Even like John Morant, I don't think he deserves it. He's missed a lot of games and things like that, but they've supported their guy.
You know, honestly, right now, like I don't think Lillard's a better player than Luca, but right now I think Lillard is more
Their
deserving
team
of the
is so
starter
bad.
spot.
Their team has been losing so much. So
But the Dallas Mavericks are also just losing. I think the Trailblazers have a better record than the Mavericks.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I said. The
uh,
Mavericks are losing.
do you think
Pretty
do you think
interesting.
anybody
Interesting
do you
thing
think anybody got snubbed like
Oh yeah,
right
one
now?
second. The most interesting is how Jokic is second in votes among front court because he has more than like Anthony Davis. Because if you think about it, he's from a small market. He's European and he's not the flashiest player. So him to get like the third most votes is really
He has more
insane.
votes than Luca as well. That's pretty
Yeah,
insane
that's
to me.
third most exactly.
I was actually thinking Luca would be closer to Steph. Like, I mean, obviously Steph's more popular, but
I mean, snubs, if you're just looking at it from the perspective who made and who didn't, I think like I might be a bit biased here, but DeMar DeRozan's been playing pretty
yeah,
well. So I
I
feel
think I
he
think he should have been.
I don't think
He
he
should
should
have
have
been
been
like
a star. He shouldn't be top five or anything, but he should have been like
like
number
the
8
eighth to
or
ninth.
9,
Yeah,
like
I think Wiggins and Carmelo goes out, and then DeMar DeRozan. Well, is DeMar a front court or guard? Is he like a small forward?
he plays power forward now.
Oh dang. Okay. Well, in that case, then yeah, I guess he takes Carmelo's spot, and then for Wiggins' spot, I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head right now, but I feel like somebody got snubbed that we're not thinking about. Yes.
Yeah,
So maybe Rudy Gobert, but I don't know.
no, he doesn't deserve it. What about in guards? I think Clay Thompson has no business being here. Neither does
I
CJ.
think I think De'Aaron Fox, Victor Oladipo. I think those are two people I can think of. I
Victor
don't really
Oladipo.
know.
I don't think Victor Oladipo deserves it either.
If you think about the record of the teams he's played on, I think he's 6-1 with the Rockets, and he's like he was like 11-4 with the Pacers or something like that, and he's putting up like 21, 22 points per game, and I don't know. I think
Yeah,
like
you
he
think about it, 21, 22 points per game is not much when you consider these top guys, but he's putting up 0 points per game. He's putting up like 10 points per game, maybe.
no, I think De'Aaron Fox got. I think De'Aaron Fox should be above Chris Paul. It should be above. I think De'Aaron Fox should be seventh or maybe even sixth because I think Devin Booker is a little bit
I'm
overrated.
pretty happy Alex Caruso isn't here. I haven't taken a look at the East, but I really hope Taco Fall isn't there either.
I don't
So
think he is, but
okay, let's just look. Is he's not he is yes, he's not here, thankfully. Okay, so what are your
Embiid
thoughts?
should be above Giannis in my opinion. Like Giannis should be the third guy, but I think Embiid should be above him because I think Embiid just having a like an amazing year
Having
this year.
like
He
an
put up
MVP type year.
he put up 25 points in a quarter today. Like that's just even though they lost the game, like because Ben Simmons wasn't playing. I think
Who do they lose to?
the Trailblazers, but
Okay, that's unexcusable. The Trailblazers are trash.
yeah, but Simmons wasn't playing. I mean, I don't know if you can use that because I feel like the Trailblazers still don't have Nurkic or CJ McCollum, so it's still like they just don't have anybody either. But
So
other,
I think the if you look at the guys who are here and shouldn't be here, I don't think Jimmy Butler should be here. If you look at in terms of players, he does, but he's just
yeah,
missed so many games that I don't think you can justify it. Same with Gordon Hayward. The team is too bad, and he's not the main attraction on that team, even though he's probably their best player right now. Um, I
I mean,
feel
in my opinion, I think Gordon Hayward should be there, just considering how good he's been playing. But
I don't think
I don't
Sabonis
know.
deserves to be here either.
I think
And
Sabonis should be above Bam, just considering how good he's been playing this season. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it from the Pacers fan perspective. At the same time, I feel like he doesn't get enough.
wait, hold on.
Like
So Kevin Durant has 2,300,000. He has more
yeah,
than LeBron.
by like 14K. Like, but
There,
yeah, no.
I
I
don't
think it's because there's obviously a lot of LeBron haters, and then I think the West is there's more like top people in the West. Like you can put Kawhi, Anthony Davis, Jokic, and LeBron as your three people, right? But then in the East, there's not that many like top people. There's like it's really spread out, but there's not that many top people. So it's hard to determine if that makes sense.
still like Giannis and Embiid, or you can say they're better than Durant. I just don't think he should be there. So it's quite interesting to see Bradley Beal being first in guards when he didn't make it last year. So
Yeah, I mean, last year he put up 30 points a game. He didn't make it. I think it just shows like how much like some people like don't pay attention. Like
I
I
think
think
people
that's one point with Sabonis.
because last
Also,
year they would lose, but they weren't like as bad as they are this year. So I feel now that the pity element is there, and plus instead of like averaging 30 points per game, which is probably second in the league, he's now leading the league in
yeah.
scoring, like 34, 35.
Can I tell you a cool statistics? So this year All-Star voting's been up 70% since last year. So I think maybe that's due to a lot of people being online now more and they're taking their time in voting versus last year.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me is that
I
Jalen
remember
Brown got
also, I remember I think I was like at a Starbucks when I got the notification. Giannis was ahead of LeBron by like a couple 100,000, and yet LeBron finished far ahead of everyone else in voting. So it's possible that like LeBron's still gonna finish number one.
yeah, I think LeBron and KD are for sure the captains, and I think we kind of expected that all along because they're like the two, like Steph and Luca could also be, but they're both in the West, and like in terms of popularity, and I feel like Durant is easily the um
Wait,
like the
can
captain.
the captains come from the same conference?
No, it has to be it's a leader in the East and the leader in the West. You know, one more point that I want to make was first of all, I don't think Russell Westbrook deserves to be in this list because he hasn't played enough games and he like loses a lot and he's not playing as good as he used to play. And I think that Jalen Brown didn't get enough votes. Like he only got 590K. Like
Who
that's a
Jason
half of
Tatum's
what
getting
James
way
Harden did. Like James Harden might be a better player, but this season James Harden's missed a few games. He had that like he got traded. Like I don't see him like deserving that spot over Jalen Brown if that but at least not by that much, you know? So
yeah, I mean
do
he
you
I don't
think
think
Kyrie's gonna hold on?
deserves it either. He has Derrick Rose has no business deserving it, especially getting more than Jeremy Grant. But I think he's just there because people feel bad for him or something.
Well, I
Like
mean, he's like one of the most like loved players in the
I don't
NBA and everything.
I mean, I get like the
Yeah,
feel bad for him, but like I find it so outrageous when you're like, oh, if Derrick Rose hadn't gotten injured, he would be he would easily be the best player in the league or things like that. Like that's just insane if you ask me.
yeah,
But it's still, yeah, like I said, it's really nice to not see Alex Caruso or Zaza Pachulia or Taco Fall here.
yeah. I think the teams that have like the fans that vote the most are the Warriors, the Blazers, and then um the Nets probably. But I think that a lot of the Nets fans are just bandwagons.
I
Like
think the Nets are just New York because even two guys from the Knicks are here.
Yeah, but wait, who's the second guy?
Actually, right, it's just one guy. Never mind.
Oh, but do you think Kyrie's gonna be able to hold on? Or do you think Harden's gonna take that spot?
I think I don't know. I think it doesn't matter. They're so close, and they're both
Yeah,
still
but
all stars.
I don't know, but like whoever takes that spot gets the starter spot, you know. So it's like pretty important, and um, I think Kyrie's gonna hold on though. I think he might be like more in the season is really playing really good, but I don't really know if he deserves it at the same time because he's also missed like 8 games, and Jalen Brown deserves it in my opinion. So yeah,
All right. So, do you have anything else to add in this regard?
not really. Yeah,
Goodbye. So, yeah, I guess that's it for this episode of the Mentorship Podcast. Thanks for listening.
thank you.